Hello, everyone. Welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today, we have Mr. Sunny Mittal with us. Mr. Mittal, who comes with more than 11 years of work experience in divergent industries like agriculture, manufacturing, BFSI, IT, etc. Mr. Mittal has provided professional services and advices on regulatory compliance, legal, and litigation matters to various organizations. His core strength lies in achieving the highest standard of corporate governance and compliance in the organization, while bringing the litigation percentage to zero. Mr. Mittal has been instrumental in solving complex and challenging issues of the organization. He is currently a company secretary and a lawyer by profession, and also holds the bachelor degree from the Delhi University. So, without any ado, let me introduce you all to him. Hello, Mr. Mittal. Welcome to the Lex Talk Show. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, Krish. Thank you for a nice introduction. I'm feeling glad to be a part of LexTalk. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. So, pleasure is ours to have you here. So, Mr. Mittal, we will begin this interview by asking you something about you. Like, what motivated you to take up law as a professional?
Okay, so Krish, frankly speaking, let me just start from the beginning. When I was in my school, so I was an average student. So during
Mhm.
my school days, I was more interested in understanding the problems and solving them. During my school days only, I realized that I'm more inclined towards practical aspects of business, and that is the reason that I chose company secretary as my profession first. So while I became a company secretary and then I joined the industry. By the time I realized that I should also join law together with my service there, that is how I pursued my law. So at that time I found that law is a very interesting subject, as it not only involves practical aspects of the business, but also it involves a diversified mind approach to look at the things. Let me tell you, I belong to a business and family, and with this, I think I have a genes in me to look at the things, to look at the background of the things from all perspectives. And I believe as a lawyer, you can do this, being a lawyer at its best. So as a lawyer, I feel people rely on your advice for their good and benefit. They seek justice from you with respect to their disputes, with respect to their legal issues. So all these things, my this journey from my school days, since I started my job, my profession, so I realized that I should pursue for law, and that is how I took up law as a profession.
Amazing. So nice to hear that, Mr. Mittal. But since, as we all know now, that you hold a great experience of 10 plus years into the legal industry. So if you, I mean, that would be more than appreciated if you can tell us something about a complex legal issue that you have worked on as of now. And if you can also describe the complexity and tell us how you have approached it.
So that's a very good question you have asked, Krish. So let me tell you, as I have already briefed you how I choose law as my profession. So in my career of almost 11 plus years, so I have worked with various organizations, and in my entire career, though there have been various challenges that I have worked upon. However, one of the most important issue that I want to highlight and I want to share it with you that I have faced is when I was working in one of the organization which is into services sector and works to serve the people of India in various different aspects. So I was working as a company secretary and I was heading the legal and compliance department in that organization. So I would not name the organization due to confidentiality obligations, but I would obviously share my experience how I have been gone through a legal issue which was a major legal issue for the organization at that time. So the organization actually got a restraining order from one of the statutory authority of India at that time. It was around 2019, which was one of the most important legal issue for the company since its inception. So, and the impact of that order was huge on the company. The only one thing I believe that I followed was that I was handling that matter with confidence, and I truly believe the fact that the company has been following good governance through all times, and that it follows the law in good parlance. So what I did is I carefully read the order and accordingly discussed that order, the matter which was involved with the concerned departments in the organization. So which includes finance department, which includes business departments. Because as a legal person, what I understand is any legal matter that comes to any organization, I think it's the combined effort of the organization that you can go through that legal case. So I handled that matter very seriously, and I did a lot of research and document information compilation. And finally, after a lot of hard work through working through a lot of nights, so we submitted our response to the authority, and all our hard work and all our dedication finally paid off. This went for a long time, and as a result, I finally managed to get rid of that restraint order from the authority. So the things that I learned from that legal issue basically is that you should have, as a lawyer, you should have confidence within yourself to
Absolutely.
handle or to tackle that legal issue. And teamwork, the second is the teamwork. As a lawyer, what I understand is to effectively manage any organization or any industry, you have to tackle all the issues with teamwork. You have to engage all the respective and concerned departments. Third is, I understand, that is planning. So before legal issue is something which you have to plan, how you have to gather the information, how you have to address the questions or the allegations put by any third party or by a statutory authority. And fourth and the last one is faith. So I always have faith while handling any legal matter that yes, I can do, I can solve this problem. And with that, with all these things, with all this confidence, teamwork, planning, and faith, I successfully managed to handle that legal issue in the organization. So that I think in my entire career is one of the biggest achievement that I successfully took out that organization from that statutory restraint order from that statutory authority. And at the end, the board of the company, the management of the company also recognized my efforts, and I was recognized as one of the important part of that matter that we got resolved.
Amazing, Mr. Mittal. This was really nice to hear that. And definitely, I would agree with you on this point that if any person wants to success as anything, hard work, dedication, confidence, and faith is something which is really required. Because if you want to plan something, if you want to proceed something, the confidence, like of the person, should have the confidence in himself or in herself to proceed towards the successfulity. So thank you so much for sharing the story with us. This will definitely inspire a lot of us how a person can take care of the legal matters, how important these matters are to us. So thank you so much again, Mr. Mittal, for sharing your important case with us. Now, Mr. Mittal, we would really want to know that since we know that post-COVID, there were many changes that have been made in every sector. So we have noticed in the legal fraternity that the pandemic saw some courts being moved more towards the remote proceedings and availability. So according to you, is this sustainable? And also, if you can share a
Correct.
possible way to increase increase the justice to all of us.
Again, I would say, Krish, you have asked a very valid question. As we all are aware that after this COVID pandemic, all of the things, or I would say, many of the businesses, services, all have moved to a virtual era. And nowadays, hybrid working culture, working from home, virtual meetings, virtual proceedings, remote workings have now become a normal thing for all of us. So I think this issue is the pandemic, that for from a justice perspective, from the courts working perspective, I think this issue is about equity and fairness, because it can help those who may have to miss work or travel long distances to make brief courtroom appearances. So it is about transparency, because the remote hearings make court hearings more accessible to the public and media. So, of course, remote technology should not replace all in person court hearings. But yes, everybody should have the right, everybody should have the freedom of choice to conduct their business remotely whenever appropriate. So I think there are various benefits, there are various advantages of having these remote proceedings. And
Mhm.
yes, this is sustainable in today's time. So let me just point out some of the benefits of this remote
Sure.
proceedings. So first of all, there is greater access for court users. So court users, the staff of the court can attend a remote hearing without missing work or arranging childcare, saving transportation time and costs. So I think this is one of the major benefit that nowadays people get to attend court hearings. So second is, I would say, victims often prefer to have the option of appearing remotely. So vulnerable court users such as victims of domestic violence or elder abuse would have less anxiety and stress by not having to appear in court with the perpetrator. So I think people usually have anxiety issues when they appear in the court, like if they get to interact, or if they get to connect with someone who they know, and they can obviously ask them what you were doing in the court. So I think that is one of the benefit, that people are would have less anxiety and stress by not having to appear in the court. So third one, I would say, is availability of expert witness testimony. So I believe expert witnesses will be more willing to testify if they did not have to spend a full day of travel to appear in court, because most of the witnesses deny to come to the court because they have to spend full time in the court, and they have their own businesses, and they have their own I would say regular activities that they miss on. So I think that is also a benefit, that nowadays witness would testify in the court on remote proceedings. The fourth one, I would say, is remote options increase efficiency, safety, and participation. So obviously, remote appearances are efficient for many parts of criminal and civil cases. They reduce failure to appear rates in many courts, and courts also show efficiencies in work for staff and less downtime in the courtrooms. So this is one of the benefit that I see. And lastly, I think what I believe is the major benefit of having remote proceedings is court users expect it. Court users expect that if the courts can serve people equally or better remotely, those options should be available. So I think over and all, moving the court proceedings towards a remote access, towards virtual hearings, obviously this is our future. And we India is, if you are already aware, India is now at today it's on number one in the world in using technology, in using digital transactions in the world. So I think we are moving towards digitization, and obviously yes, having court proceedings and remote proceedings is our future.
So true, Mr. Mitchell. So true. Yes, and yes, you were correct, 100% correct that yes, India is the first country who is gaining many when it comes to digitalization. And speaking about the technology, so yes, this is evolving. We all are evolving, and especially in the legal industry. So it was so great to hear that yes, legal is like legal fraternity, legal industry is to moving more towards the technology and making the right use of it. But also one more thing, like since we have just discussed with the Mittal, since you have shared a case with us regarding the technology, that how you and your company is using the technology in the right way. Speaking
Mhm.
about the era of legal technology, what are the most commonly used tools available for you?
So I think technology has evolved into a significant part of every aspect of our life. Technology plays a huge role in almost every profession. So it's not only lawyers; it's about every profession now, where which every professional is using technology. And I think we are now using technology to reduce our efforts, to increase our efficiency, to move the pending things towards a result. So we are no exception. So although law have been around since ancient times, so technology has transformed how we practice law. So I would say there are some factors how we there are some tools how we are using technology. So for example, as a lawyer, I use social media. So whether it's Facebook or Twitter or any other social media plays an increasingly more significant role in our everyday life. It's also becoming a critical tool for marketing for lawyers. So social media not only helps you stay connected with your friends and family, but it also provides an excellent platform available for you to reach out to your potential clients. And also through social media, you get to know regular updates about your profession, about your clients, about your industry. and you can use sites like LinkedIn to connect with your professionals in your industry. So this is social media, I think, is the most important tool of technology that we use in our legal technology. Second, coming to is software. Obviously, nowadays there are a lot of softwares in the industry, in the market, which everybody is using. So since we are interacting through Zoom, this is also a technology that we are using. And obviously, this is not only reducing our effort, this is also saving our time. So software isn't just limited to computers anymore. With smartphones, tablets, and laptops, the software is available everywhere. There's plenty of software designed specifically for lawyers, from accounting apps to document preparation tools. So I came across various softwares. I receive calls from various software vendors who offer us softwares for the purpose of drafting of contracts, for the purpose of vetting of contracts, for the purpose of managing the compliances and the litigation issues in the organization. So we have a lot of technology, we have a lot of softwares in the industry which we can use for managing our organization works, our organization things. Thirdly, but not the last one, is the websites and applications. So there are a lot of websites and applications through which you can keep yourself updated about the industry, about the profession, about your subject, etc. So I think all these tools are now have become a part of our life. We are not we are actually, I would say, we are incomplete without these tools, because nowadays it is impractical, and it is not possible for all of us to meet personally to everybody, and to personally keep a update on each and everything. So all these tools like social media or websites and apps helps us to keep us updated, to connect with each other. So I think this is how these tools are a more important aspect from a legal perspective for us.
Absolutely, Mr. Mittal. Also, one more thing that you have mentioned while giving the beautiful answer was, while we have evolved towards the technology, the best part is that it helps us to save a lot of time, right? And we all, like every successful business person, every successful lawyer, every successful person in this world believe in this fact that time is money, right? In
Correct.
any profession, and especially in legal, what we have received, or what we, I mean, on the basis of the resources, we got to know that every successful lawyer in today's world believes that time is money. So in
Right.
today's world, like, just if you can share some important points with us, that how do you ensure to make the best of your time as a lawyer, that would be really appreciated.
Right, right. So, Krish, obviously, I will answer that question. So, I think out of all the elements one has to work with, none is more precious than time. So, any lawyer's abilities to manage their time significantly affects the standard and the quality of their legal work, the quality of their service to their current competitive legal environment, and the degree of their professional success. So I think time is money not only for the lawyers. It is time is money for everybody nowadays. So for example, how I manage my time as a lawyer is, I would rather explain this in some 2 or 3 points. So the first one is self-assessment. So to be more effective managing my time, I first assess where I am now, how I am spending, how I have to spend my time each day, what amount what amount of time I have to spend on billable work. So I track my time for each week and enter everything I do during the day. Also, I record my time where I have to use my energy on a high level and on a low level. So once I have created my profile of time, I am able to see where I have wasted my time and what things I can cut back on. So this is I think self assessment is the most important tool that we shall use for effectively managing our time. Second is the 80-20 rule. So I strongly believe in 80-20 rule. So good time management skill requires learning how the 80-20 rule impacts you. So the 80-20 rule states that the relationship between the input and the output is rarely, if ever, balanced. So when applied to work, it means that approximately 20% of your efforts produce 80% of your results. Learning how to recognize and then focusing on that 20% is the key to making the most effective use of your time. So I think this is one of the most important factor that I always consider while managing all my work, is the 80-20 rule. Thirdly, I always prepare my to-do list on a daily and a weekly basis. Once I reach my office, I always before starting anything, I just prepare the to-do list for the day, and then I effectively see what are my priorities, what work I have to take first, what are the things that I can take up in the second half or on the next day. That is how I manage my time. One of the most important aspect is I always allocate my work according to my high and low energy periods. So, like I told you, so what I personally believe is it may be possible with you also. So, in the first half of the day, in the morning, all our energies are literally high, and coming when we reach to till evening, so our energies get down to some extent. So, I always prefer to take all the critical tasks, all the important tasks in the morning, so that I can effectively complete those tasks with my high energy. So that is also one of the most important aspect that I take into consideration. Another aspect that I take into consideration is delegation. So I always prefer to delegate work to my team. So I don't believe in micromanagement. I believe that uh, everybody is a professional and they know how to perform their task, how to perform their time. So I always prefer to delegate work which can effectively be completed together with my team. So that is also one of the important aspect. And the lastly but not the least, I always refrain from micromanaging things. So I always look the things from a bigger picture. So I always prefer to complete the tasks or to manage my time working with my team. If they have worked on a certain task, then I obviously look at the things to from a perspective that they have also seen that particular task, and I support them. So this is how I manage my time, and I think managing your time is one of the key aspect for any profession to grow and to effectively take up the things in the right manner.
Absolutely, Mr. Mittal, you are again 100% correct on stating the beautiful statement that yes, in order to be successful, time or valuing the time is something which is really important because time never stops. So
Correct.
thank you so much again, Mr. Mittal, for sharing your beautiful insights with us, for sharing such a great stories with us. That was really an amazing stories and so inspiring stories for all of us. We will look forward to have a beautiful chat again in future on some other trending topics that we have in the international legal fraternity. But for our viewers, as of now, if you like this chat, I would request you to please like and share this video and also subscribe to our Clickaway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming from the great industry experts. So this is Krish from Lex Talk World signing off.